That's right, folks. It's time for the news. It's time for KP's Video News. And you know how it does. Yep. You know how I do it. Just trying to get what I need to do to make it right. Yep. KP's Video News, y'all. And we had this first story. We had a North Carolina police chief is on unpaid leave after reportedly showing officers how to obtain fake vaccine cards. That's right, folks. A North Carolina police chief is on unpaid leave after showing his officers how to obtain fake vaccine cards. So, fake COVID vaccination cards. So, reports that Oakboro Police Chief T.J. Smith informed members of his force about a clinic where they could go if they weren't vaccinated. He's now been paid on unpaid leave for 2 weeks, which began on this past Tuesday. And Oakboro Town Administrator Doug Burgess said the additional offenses could mean he's punished further, including being fired. Burgess wrote Smith a letter and told him he was being placed on unpaid leave because he breached Oakboro's personnel policy, which bars acts of fraud, endangering the property of others, and serving in conflict of interest. But Smith said in a statement, I didn't profit from it. I couldn't profit from it, and I didn't do it from a place of malice. I care deeply about others, and I sincerely appreciate that I have a job that allowed me to serve them and see things improve in my community. Stop lying, man. And since COVID vaccine became available earlier this year, people have found ways around being immunized. Earlier this month, a Maryland man was charged after he allegedly sold more than 600 fake COVID vaccination cards on social media. If convicted, he could face more than 20 years in prison for each count of mail fraud and obstruction of justice. So if that's the case, man, he'll never get out. He got 600 COVID cards, and each count is a 20-year sentence. Yeah. Okay, buddy. You trying to be smart over there. Wow. That's something right there, folks. That is really something, man. I don't know. I don't know what these people are thinking about these days. And so this next story here, is it's a small story. But anyway, it's got a bail denied for a man charged with attempted murder of an officer he allegedly punched and tried to disarm. So, a 22-year-old man was held without bail Saturday after being charged with attempted murder, as well as battering and trying to disarm an off-duty Chicago police officer. Lewis Bennett faces multiple felony charges following his Christmas Eve encounter with Chicago police in the 2100 block of West Lake Street. Cook County Judge David Navarro held Bennett without bail after an assistant state's attorney detailed him allegedly struggling over a sergeant's gun and throwing a chunk of cement at another officer. So we have a situation where the officer and you at some point are engaged in a struggle for the officer's weapon, Navarro said before ordering Bennett back in custody. So I do believe that the defendant poses a threat to safety of the community, not only to his mother, but to the community at large. About 9:10 a.m. Friday, Bennett's mother called 911. We go again, man. Folks calling 911, man. Claiming that she was afraid of him, Prosecutor Captain Morrissey stated. Chicago police sergeant responded to the scene in uniform in a marked squad car. By then, Bennett had allegedly threatened a shootout if law enforcement arrived. Bennett walked toward the sergeant and ordered him to leave before punching him in the left ear, Morrissey said. The sergeant fell to the ground and Bennett allegedly got on top of him and said he was going to kill him while grabbing at the sergeant's gun. He displayed a callous disregard for the law and officer's life by trying to take the officer's gun while stating he was going to kill Officer Morrissey said. Morrissey assumed. And the sergeant said no one was going to shoot Bennett. Following the 22-year-old yanking out the magazine and backing away while out of ammunition, Morrissey said other officers then arrived, and Bennett allegedly hurled a chunk of cement at a squad car before he was tasered and taken into custody. So the sergeant suffered bruises to his left ear, right cheek, and elbow. And Morrissey added that Bennett has serious mental health issues. So Catherine Slockager, Bennett's public defender, disputed the notion that Bennett's intent was to kill the sergeant. She also said Bennett graduated from John Marshall High School before attending Malcolm X College for a while and worked at Wendy's before he was laid off and lives with his mother. So his client removed the clip from the gun and then removed the bullets. Stockler said he never pointed the firearm at the officer. And Stockler also noted Bennett is undergoing mental health treatment and that his mother, while afraid of him, is supporting him through his psychiatric issues. So here's a guy with an obvious mental problem. And telling you, man, it's just a good thing that he dismantled the gun and took the bullets out the gun and dismantled it. Because if he didn't, we would be it would be a whole different story I'll be talking about now. I'll be talking about a man with mental problems that got killed by the cops. So, on to the next story. We got a felony assault charge dismissed against a man accused of hitting Ravenna Township man with the car. And the case against a Chardon man who was accused of seriously injuring another man with his car in Ravenna Township parking lot this past May has been dismissed. According to the Portage County Court of Common Pleas records, Judge Becky Doherty dismissed the lone charge of second-degree felony assault and a grand jury indictment against Louis Jamal Brown, 33, on December 13th. The dismissal, however, was without prejudice, meaning the case could be refiled. And according to additional information from the Portage County Prosecutor's Office was unavailable, and Brown's attorney did not return a phone call seeking to comment. And according to the Portage County Sheriff's Department, a witness said Brown went to the other man's Ravenna Township apartment during the evening of May 8th, and the township man challenged Brown to a fight. During the fight, the township man punched the driver's window of Brown's 2015 Charger while it was in the parking lot outside the apartment. Brown then got into the vehicle, turned it around, and allegedly struck the township man with the vehicle's left front side before driving away. Statements were also taken from two other witnesses, and the sheriff's office said that when deputies arrived, the township man was lying in pain on the embankment, and Ravenna Township EMS took him up to University Hospital Portage Medical Center, where medical staff said they believed he had a broken thigh bone and possible back injuries. And Charlton police later arrested Brown at his home. So they dropped the charges against him for whatever reason. And telling you, man, it's a bunch of crazy stuff going on out here. This is a little recap here. I think this is a recap of a story that I just did about a week ago. Yeah, I just did this story about a week ago. So I see they got some some indictments going on here. So it's like two students that dressed up as Klan members for Halloween have been indicted on charges of an assault of black teen in Woodsboro, Texas. If found guilty of both crimes, both the 17 years old could face up to 10 years in prison. A Refugio County grand jury indicted Noel Garcia, who was actually Hispanic in Ranch Bolick, who was white, on Thursday, December 16th, with two third-degree felony charges, engaging in organized criminal activity and tampering with evidence, after authorities said they attacked a 16-year-old black boy with a stun gun on October 31st on Halloween, after and later burned the costumes they were wearing during the assault. The boys, both football players at Woodboro High in southeast Texas town, dressed as Klan members, when they terrorized the victim with the electroshock weapon. Thus, both Garcia and Bolick, two indictments, would include hate crime enhancement. Another person, a teenage girl, was mentioned in the incident as an accomplice. She is said to have recorded the incident from a cell phone camera and assisted the teens in burning the clothing. However, she has not been charged. And reports that all of the four students involved in this case, the two boys, the girl, and the victim, attended Woodsboro High School, and the victim actually plays on the same football team as Garcia and Bolick. Texas Monthly reports has a 1-minute video of the attack shot from a cell phone, and the girl is filming, and the footage is said to show how the victim trying to get away from his attackers. And the victim says, "It's not funny, stop. And if you say their names, they're going to tase you," the girl warns. The noise from the taser can be heard as she continues, "Get closer." Wow, she was involved. They need to arrest her too. She was encouraging them. "Surround him," the girl instructed them to do what to do. Surround him. "Chill," the black boy stated, trying to dodge the boy dressed in a white sheet and handling the device. KKK, the unarmed girl, proclaims before instructing one to get on the side of him and saying to the other, "Get on that side." The girl starts to giggle out loud. Why is she not in jail? She needs to be in jail too. The black teen is shocked once by one of the hooded figures before the video ends, and the victim's attorney said, I'm hardened in so far as the indictment is proof positive that at least the citizens of the grand jury in Refugio County saw that the evidence was indisputable, saw that my client said did happen in fact, and they were now going to bring to account at least two of the people who were involved in that crime. It remains unclear if the 16-year-old girl has been or will be arrested. Manning states another white teen who was trying to intervene also appears at times in the video near the black boy. Manning says that 6 other people also claim to have been harassed by this same group of teens. And the Woodsboro superintendent, Ronald Seegers, who represented the school district that the two teens are students in, said in a press release that he was disappointed in their behavior while absolving the school from disturbing acts of the two. He wrote, "While we are deeply disappointed that any of the students might find this type of behavior acceptable, the district cannot discipline the students for this type of conduct when it occurs off campus." So he didn't let you know that those same 2 kids that did what they did also played on the football team, and they also played at the football game after the attack. Wow. Since the indictment, the district has released another statement. Regardless of the advancement of any criminal case against Woodsboro students, the district position remains unchanged. Wow. That's a terrible school district, man. I'll be like, nah, you guys need to be like, yeah, not even a suspension, not even a warning, not even detention, nothing. Absolutely, positively nothing. Wow, that's crazy. That's totally crazy. Anyway, we have Archbishop Desmond Tutu, rest in peace. South Africa's moral compass, passed away at age 90, and Johannesburg, South Africa, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Nobel Peace Prize laureate and a veteran of South Africa's struggle against apartheid, who was revered as his nation's conscience by both black and white, died today at age 90. And Tutu won the Nobel Prize in 1984. Key dates in the life of South African cleric and activist Desmond Tutu in recognition of his nonviolent opposition to the white minority rule. And a decade later, he witnessed the end of that regime and chaired a Truth and Reconciliation Commission set up to unearth atrocities committed under it. Ever outspoken, he preached against the tyranny of the white minority. And after apartheid ended, he called the black political elite to account with as much feistiness as he had the Afrikaners. But the enduring spirit of reconciliation in a divided nation always shone through. And South African President Cyril Ramaphosa described Tutu in a televised address as one of our nation's finest patriots, adding, "Our nation, our nation is lost, indeed, a global bereavement." U.S. President Joe Biden said Tutu followed his spiritual calling and create a better, freer, and more equal world, and his legacy transcends borders and will echo throughout the ages. Archbishop Desmond Tutu was a mentor, a friend, and a moral compass for me and so many others, stated Barack Obama. And he never lost his empty sense of humor and willingness to find humanity in his adversaries. And Bill Clinton called Tutu's life a gift. And born near Johannesburg, South Africa, Tutu spent most of his later life in Cape Town and led numerous marches and campaigns to end apartheid from St. George's Cathedral front steps. Tutu passed peacefully on Sunday morning in a Cape Town nursing home, and a representative of his Archbishop Desmond Tutu Trust said he would lie in state at St. George's on Friday before his funeral service there on Saturday. And rest in peace, Archbishop Desmond Tutu, a real, true hero, a real, true hero, man. So I think I'm gonna leave that right there. And I'm gonna stop it right there. Matter of fact, I should actually led with his story, but I didn't. So, oh boy, telling you, man, it's a lot of stuff going on in the world, folks. A lot of crazy things happening. We just gotta do what we gotta do to stay ahead of the game, stay above ground, stay ahead of it. That's right. KP Video News, y'all.